Okay. So, can you hear me? Hopefully you can hear me, and hopefully the BGM music's not too loud. But yeah, so on today's VTubing My Slow Life Hobbies in My 30s, I, Sugi Yamagaba, am gonna make a crosscut sled. So, some of you might be wondering, what the hell is a crosscut sled? So, basically, a crosscut sled is a type of jig, basically something you put together to help make something that helps make woodworking projects easier. And so that's the jig. The crosscut sled is what is something that allows you to have support and make crosscuts at the table saw. So we'll actually head over to the table saw right quick. So right here I have my miter gauge. So traditionally, this is how I would use. This is what I would use to make miter cuts. Well, crosscuts, which are cuts. Let me grab a piece that go like this. And you don't. So, don't want to use this. You would never actually like do it with just like a small piece. You would want more support for it. So for me right now, I would. Oh, I actually need. I gotta move that fence. Do it. Yeah, there we go. But now that this board is supported on this long edge, now I can use the use the miter gauge to support the board as I make a cut. So, why build a crosscut sled? Well, one, a crosscut sled is much larger. The sled we're going to build today is going to be 16 inches in this dimension, and it's going to be 30 inches in this dimension. It's going to offer a lot more support for work pieces, and also the crosscut sled will also have like a fence, sort of like the miter gauge has, but basically it's an upgraded version of what we have here for doing crosscuts, because right now I mostly use this miter gauge to do crosscutting, like small pieces of wood, whatever, and the miter gauge is meant for angled cuts. Like, it's got all these like different little like things here, and you can like make angled cuts with it. So we're gonna be working with this plywood. Well, we actually got a couple. We actually have like two types of material we're working. So I'm actually gonna take the miter gauge, set it off to the side. So first material, this is 3/4 plywood. Be the main material for the build. Actually should have put the plans for this build in the description, but they're from Woodworking for Mere Mortals, that YouTube channel. Really great guy, really good stuff. But his plans call for just making it out of 3/4. Well, the majority of the sled is going to be made out of 3/4, but we're going to also be using some 1/4-inch ply. 1/4-inch ply, and then this piece of wood here, well, whether or not you want to call this stuff wood is a bit of a stretch, you could say. And I think I may have pinned it into position with my table saw. Oh, yeah, that moves cool. So, this is MDF. So, if I can... Ooh. So, plywood. Difference between MDF and plywood. Why did I grab the big one? Grab the small one, dummy. So plywood is actually made out of sheets, made out of plies, and basically what they... So when they make plywood, they literally just take a log and basically take a if you've seen people like slice daikon radishes, like they'll take the daikon radish with the knife and just make peel a whole sheet off of it. Yeah, that's what they do to make plywood. MDF, which MDF stands for medium density fiberboard. This stuff is basically made of sawdust and glue. That's all it is. It's sawdust, glue mixed together, and then just it's basically squeezed and it's made into these sheets. So, reasons why we're using this stuff today. We're using this because one, MDF is very stable. It actually is a great material for jigs. Less so furniture because fasteners cannot hold in it because there's no wood grain to it. You wouldn't want to use it for like super serious furniture. But for today's purpose of just making a jig, this is actually going to be really good stuff because it's going to be very stable. It's not going to want to warp because we don't want it to warp. We don't want it like crazy. Because if any aspect of like this build were to like change in such a way, like because wood expands and contracts with moisture content. For something like this where you want to make accurate repeatable cuts time and time again, you don't actually want to use like solid lumber. You actually want to work with what are called engineered wood products, which is plywood. And so I think that's enough of the explanation for today, and I think we should probably go ahead and get over to the table saw and start getting some stuff cut up. So we're gonna go ahead and get all of our project pieces cut out, just because I want to have them cut out. So might as well go ahead and start with the 1/4 inch ply. So with the 1/4 inch, so what we want to do with this is we want to get some pieces that are just thin enough to fit in our table saw's miter slots. So there we go, a bit better. So since I have a bit of unevenness on this edge, my first pass through the table saw, I'm literally just gonna take a hair off. I don't want to like do anything. You're a bit proud. It pushed it. Start having some fun. Power to it. And safety. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and set my free and clear. I really do at some point want to get like a second camera so I can have a view so you can actually have like the real nice like money shot, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Buzzing it for a bit more than that. I just want to do a nice cut along one side just to even it up. Oh. Okay. Stopped. There's our then offcut. Play. Have a lot more. Oh. Let's take a quick look at our saw's miters. Hold on. Maybe a bit more. So I want to cut off. How about that? We'll go with this and we'll see if it's too tight or not. Peace. Oh, it fit. Seems like it might be. Fit. Probably gonna be the same. So if we were to try to use this, the crosscut sled would not like that. Thanks. Well, I think. That. Okay. We'll try that out. Oops. Definitely have a thinner. Not sure how I feel about that. Because it's nice legs. I don't know if it feel about the play though. So it gets food and all that. It should be fun. Run with that. Oh, we'll have one for this miter slot, and then we'll do. I think what we'll do is just trim this down to hair and work with that. See how this is. Loose on. We just. Okay, well. Ooh, excuse me. That's not gonna work. We're gonna have to go to our other piece and make it work. Yeah, A little too dusty too early. Yeah, that'll be reasonably. It's reasonably well supported along the fence. So I'm just gonna do a quick squaring cut, and then we'll try and get an actual like piece off and see if we can get the track. So you see. Huh. We'll give this a shot. Granted, it might be a bit big, but big. I want to fall in there. Great. You don't get a lot more. You don't get many more shots at this. Otherwise, we'll have to like thin these down, and I really thin one of those down, and I don't want to do that. We'll try this out. See what we get. Okay. Do we have a winner? It's a winner, but that's definitely... This one wasn't that bad. A little bit of play, but not terrible. But a lot of play. Oh, fun. Or I could just try taking a hair off this. Okay, fine. We'll try taking a hair off this to get this to work. Also, I need to head over to my collection because I think I realized. So I think one of the reasons why I was blown too much of this is a little too... Normally, if I'm just running just the tool, I'll, rather than actually like actively run the dust collection setup, I'll just have the saw feed the dust into the big hose into the primary cyclone bin, which is the blue bucket with the red lid you see on the other side of my hair down there. Normally there's a hose on the top if I'm actually running the vacuum side of the thing, but I needed to take that off in order for there to be like good airflow when I'm just running the tool, because the vacuum's very loud, and it's a big pain to like keep walking around to turn it on and off. I really need to get like you can get like smart plugs, and you can use those to turn stuff off on and off remotely. It's needs to happen at some. So hopefully this won't blow sawdust at me this cut, and we'll keep going. Yes. Oh. Woo. Much better. Still a little too sawdusty, but try this one out. That one's got a lot of play. Yes, we're just gonna have to work with these. Work with that. That's got like a lot of play. It's gonna like affect the like quality of cuts and stuff. Well, is it that in? I'm gonna go ahead and actually try and shave one of these. Just a hair. We might have a winner here. How tight it is. Dropping? Not dropping. Definitely stuff. It fits in there better. It'll actually go in there. Oh. Okay. Hopefully, this is winner. I don't have to make. Okay, so that's in there. A little bit. I think it's as bad as the other one in terms of play. Being perfectly honest, I'm kind of tired of making those cuts, so those are some pretty let's see, what's the word for it? Yabai cuts to make. Ripping really thin pieces is not fun, so we're gonna need a couple of pieces for this build. Yeah, actually, let's just go ahead and do. Let's see. 4 1/4. We need to take 1/4 inch off. Should actually a little bit. So this piece we're gonna cut into 4 2-inch by 6-inch pieces. Actually, 4 inches across. I'll take less. Out for the saw curve. So we'll set it down to. We'll basically do a quick rip, get it down to 4, and then then we'll do another rip, and we'll get it into 2 2-inch pieces. Table saw. Wow. Ooh. Ooh. This. That's a future glue spreader right there. Okay. Go ahead. We'll just send this board through and we'll have two 2-inch across pieces. Da-da-da. Cool. Woo! Stop spinning. Now we got two 2-inch pieces. Cool. So, and we'll actually cut these down later. We can actually we'll actually be able to use the jig we're making to actually cut those down. So, I already have it set. So, I'm gonna need those pieces. I'm gonna need 4 pieces, 2-inch by 30. This scrap piece of lumber is already basically already there in terms of the length, but are at 3.5 inches in terms of width. So we'll rip this down to 2 inches. I think it's 2 inches. I'm gonna go ahead, double check the plan. And let's see here. Yeah. No. Okay, good. Good me. I checked the plans and not 2 inches. 2.5. So. Bit more than 2.5, so. Always double check your instructions, kids. Either side's good. Okay, cool. That's gonna be one of our pieces. That's one. Actually, I want to check that. Yay! Cool. So that. Let's grab you, and we'll start bringing this fence out. 2.5 inches on this side. Or so. Okay, that looks like we should be at 2.5. Go ahead and lock the fence into position. Make a cut. grab you. Okay. You're ready. Room. need to see this. Okay, so that was 10 3/4. So if we bring 8/4 should be 2.5 inches minus 11. So that should be 2.5. Check. Push. Off the fence. Actually, no. Barely? Okay. Off the fence. Got it where we want it. And we wait. Okay, so we got 3 of our pieces. Get one more. Half. What we got? Okay. We are measured up and good. Wanted to grab that. Okay, so that's gonna be for the pieces for the fence. Our last pieces, I think those were supposed to be 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches by 14. Okay. We'll get from this piece of material. 1 inch by 14. So, whoop. Lock it. Measure twice, cut. Okie dokie. Box. Good to go. This one, yeah, kill. So if we what we get? On the money. Hey, they lock it. Good. Okay. Those pieces. Hey. Gosh, oh, scary me. I'm absolutely covered in sawdust right now. Fun. Okay, so I'm gonna put those on the far side of the netherworld. This piece of scrap is scrap once more. Okay, so I'm gonna, for our next little bit, the handy dandy dusting broom. Ooh. Yeah. Out a little bit. I can set that fence there, hopefully. Actually, I can do. Oh! That's a or pieces out and actually start putting some stuff together. And to quickly clean up because I don't want something severed. And I do this. So there, and we're gonna make the dangerous blade of fun go away. Goodbye, dangerous blade of fun. Oh. It's been real dusty. I'm gonna take a quick swig of water. Okay, cool. So we're gonna be doing a couple of things moving forward. Next, we're gonna play with these. I just cleaned it. Damn it. Okay. Whatever. This is a shop. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our. These are gonna go in our slots. We're gonna put some glue on them, and then we're gonna bring our base piece. Put it on there. Actually, before we do that, I want to take the. I've got pieces to pick up over there, so you guys can just look at the desk for now. You guys can look at the desk. Oh, yeah. Okie doke. And that's fine. Cool. So we can actually look back. We can look at tablesaw again. So. And I'm going to make my life a little bit easier by go ahead and removing my fence. And I'm just going to set this off to the side. Way too much. It's too much fun. It's way too much fun. Just a bit over more. So we'll have that in that miter slot. And then we're well, actually, we're not gonna. just dip them into the miter slots. We want to, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue those to the bottom of the sled. So to make that happen, we want our miter, we want these pieces to be a hair bit proud of work surface. Just so we're gonna just use these handy dandy nuts. We're gonna use these to just see how we got a slight shadow here. This piece a bit proud, so that when we apply glue, it'll actually stick to the bottom of the sled. And then we're gonna let that tack up for a little bit. Play with. What did I grab it? This is what's gonna set our spacing. You don't actually have to do a bunch of like complicated measuring or anything. You just have to throw beads of glue down. Also got some I'll use to help like so we got our glue on there. We'll grab. Actually, we just made this glue stick. So never get like real nice, like thin offcuts from projects. I'll just use it as a glue stick. I think that one's too stiff. I have to use these thinner ones. Hit that with more. Like that needs more glue. I'm gonna hit that with a bit more glue. Guys, but I mean, I definitely think it will work. Worried about that, but I'd rather over apply it a little bit too much glue versus having to worry about it too much. I had longer scrap pieces of the 1/4-inch plywood, but I didn't have any, so I gotta kind of make do with what I got. Project as for as everyone here is about to see. Trying to clean off this MFD a little bit. I'm sure there's nothing terrible on. Roughly. That's it. Well, that's just gonna sit for a little bit. I'm gonna wait for that glue to tack up. I do have some screws. I will put like, I think probably like 3 screws in on the underside into the bottom of the sled. But for now, we're gonna just wait for that to tack up. While that's happening, back to the work desk. So, doesn't look like a lot's happening right now, but we're gonna these. So, our jig is gonna have 2 fences. Some of these are long. Yeah, one of you is short, which that's fine. I can actually cut that off. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot some of my off-cut pieces were. One of my scrap pieces was a bit longer than the others, and oh well. So for now, we're gonna turn these 4 pieces of wood, and we're gonna turn them into 2 pieces of wood glue. And I have previously experimented with taking the top off this, and for small things, it's overkill. This is actually a real big thing. I'm gonna just choose chaos. You're gonna choose chaos. Just going to town with the glue. Ah. Don't want. One moment. There. Let me grab the glue spreader. Actually, I don't want you touching. I'm not gluing you guys to each other. I'm going to glue one of you to one of my boards and then... I thought this glue would go further than... But just go ahead and worry about one of these. Granted, you don't have to get it like super perfect with like the spread of your glue. I mean, you can even make like this work. What's going on here? I'm a little concerned about it just because there's this knot here in the plywood. Huh. Apple. A bit too much of a dabble, but a dabble nonetheless. Really spread. Put my one of these shorter than probably just front fin. That's that for that. Okay, cool. I just set the glue spreader in a place where I don't want it to stick to things. So just gonna grab a handy cardboard box. And I'm gonna set that on top of that MFD board we got. This on top of that. Like that. Actually. I want at least one side, as long as they're paired on one side. So square on that back end, and then yeah. Good. Check this bottom side. Good enough. Go. So that's got that. It's up. Get it out. Probably should have. Probably would have been better if we had a bit more of a squeeze out with it. But oh well. But since we got this surface that I don't have to worry about ruining my desk with, we're gonna need to play here. Who spread? Spread the love, spread. Yeah, spread blue. Not making all those. There were a few times earlier where it really got me in the eyes really good. Yikes. That was rough. Like glue. Right on it. Fix that. Whoop. And then this one might be a little crazy in terms of squeeze out, because we are actually getting some droplets out of the other board. Oh yeah, you can actually see them down there. Eat. That they are down. Okay. That way. Board. Like I was losing glue off the edge of the board. Circumstance. Get this area down here nice and covered up. Breaking it. Bloop. Because if that gets glued to the thing, here. Oh. These together. Got good bow to it. good clamp on it. And a nice bit of squeeze out. Woo! Absolute mess. Absolute. Get some paper towel. Singular paper towel just because. Get this cleaned up a little bit. Yeah, we're actually done. We are done with glue. Yay! We're done with the messy stuff. Oh dearie. There are things here you just covered in sawdust. So we're just gonna like chill for a little bit, chat, whatever, because we're gonna wait for the. We're mostly gonna wait for the glue to tack up on this, because when this is ready, then we can go ahead and actually like. There's sawdust coming out of my hair. So once our glue tacks up to the runners, we will go ahead and put like probably like 3 screws in just to really secure them, and then once that's secure, we'll cut that off and then cut these to length. So what are these going to be? These parts are going to be the front and back fence of the sled. They're going to be a place for us to hold miter blocks to, and various also going to be how like we mainly like interface with the sled. Move them. I do want to move them, actually. The pick this up. Let's see what we get. Yes. So looks like stuff over here. That way. Figure out what size drill bit I need to pre-drill my holes and all that fun stuff. And okay, so we can do 1/8. That side of the world didn't seem like it was too happy. But that's fine. That's the purpose of adding the screws. Now, if the screws are a little bit proud, we should be fine. I do want to get... Okay, and one more. Sweet. So, we got one of the runners secured to the sled. Now we'll just... This stuff is pretty... Back ones really... Ones on the other side really like to come. Really glad I'm adding screws. Especially while the glue is still kind of like... One screw. Two screws. Sweet. Okay. So, set that stuff to the side. Off. We got a handy dandy magnet. Pick up all the fasteners, add in there, spacers. Boop. I set 8 in there. I got all 8 back. So got that done. I'm actually, yeah, paper towel. Okay. Now, those screws, runners aren't going to go anywhere. Okay. So you over there. So, test it out. Ooh. Okay. So it's a little stiff. Light wiggle. But this is the base. This is gonna be a crosscut sled. Chunks here. Have some like blocking. For definitely think I got some bit more glue on the table saw coon again. We'll grab another paper towel. We'll get this cleaned up. Get it cleaned up, and I'll grab a little hand. Okay. So we got these bits here that are a hair bit proud of the sled. I'm gonna grab a handsaw right quick. And doop-de-doo. Put them to the flood. Wee bit, but that's fine. Da-da-da-da! Woohoo! Cool. So with that, got great. Oh yeah, it even just like pops in there. The feeling when the project's coming. It's nice. Okay, so quick bit of water. Back, Garbird Coon. Coon around, so that way the icky gooey side, a little bit out here. Stuff. So we're gonna do the same thing we did with like the runners, where we're actually gonna go ahead and pre-drill some holes and then set a couple screws in these just to help hold them together. Reason why I didn't want to do this sooner is I want to give that glue time to like really like pack up, bond with the material. I'll go ahead and run drill an 8. How that goes. Far enough. And I need the torque bit. Torque. Ta-da! Yay! Got it. That hole. Woohoo! Cool. I'm optimistic about that. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and pre-drill 3 more holes. Three. And we'll go ahead and screws in them. There we go. That's the pre-drilling done. Actually, that's the Phillips we were using. Also, I gotta be real careful because earlier today at work, that little mark right there, I actually zipped a screw into the tip of my finger. Just the first little bit, but now the tip of my fingers hurt like all day. Like all day. Great. So better. first one came when now have these are some of the torque bits are a little proud of the material. I don't like that. First one went so no. I'm actually gonna grab a slightly larger drill bit to 732, and we'll go ahead and just widen out so that way they're kind of like countersunk a little bit. And countersinking is where you basically have like a larger hole on top of your drilled hole, and that actually gives like a little space for like the head of the fastener to reside in. Yeah, that was the problem. Eights were too large. What did I use? I don't know. So it looks like my screw hole was too large. And because of that, there wasn't like enough like wood material to grip. So redo it. Freezies. So we'll see what this does first. Should be a bit better. Having the smaller hole should help. Ooh, that felt better. Yeah, now we're good. Now we're good. There we go. Now it's pulled together. Ah, diggity dog. Cool. Cool, cool. So we're gonna set that there. It's one from earlier. Chunks number 2, I guess. I guess that's what we're calling them. So there. Grab the right drill bit for these fasteners and get some holes pre-drilled. Get the holes pre-drilled. Then after we have holes pre-drilled, we'll set the fasteners. Because it does take a little while for the glue the back up. But fastener keep everything held together at the happen. Which means we get to keep the build moving on. Good to keep the build moving. I mean, we have our foundation, but we gotta build upon it. Okay. Time I touch the tip of my... I'm actually gonna have to move one of those fasteners. Because this piece is a bit long. Fastener. I'm gonna grab the tape measure and consult. It'd be 30 inches long on the other side of the 30. So I just need to be rather than here, and it just need to be on the other side of the top head of the clamp. So got a little bit more work there to do, and go do. That there. Grab you, and then grab a screw. Grab you. There we go! Aha! Wait, so we got screws in everything. So I'm... Okay, on my clamp. I'm gonna lose my plastic piece. Okay. What got caught on my sleeve? My drill. That's what got caught on my sleeve. Drill. Okay. And I need to grab a marking dope. Normally not what nice, but marking dope. Oh. 30-inch mark. Paint line, but I don't need it to be like the most glorious of line. And I just need to cut that off. So put down the side. So we're just gonna actually. You know what? I'm not gonna mess with that. I had an idea, but I don't want to mess with that idea. Let's show the cool part. Woo! Did I hit the glue layer? Ha! Yes! Oh! Ah, man. We're a little bit proud of 30 inches, but that's fine. That's fine. Cool. Since this is pretty much a roughly finished piece, a little bit of cleanup work with the glue, I'm just going to continue to take clamps off and continue to get glue all over myself in the process. Okay. That's the clamps. Set those to the side. And this time, we only have to go through one board. Only one. Should be a lot quicker. All can go live over there. And this tiny piece of scrap can go into today's scrap pile. Sweet. So, right now we got our two pieces. A little covered in glue, but that's fine. We're not here to make a pretty jig, we are here to make a jig that works. So I'm gonna take a quick swig of water. Very refreshing. We're gonna set that there. And set the other one over here. Yes, so. Yes, this one. So the one that I just cut the piece off. This one is actually a hair bit shorter. The one I want to use. Grab our glue. Squeeze it. A little bit of want a little bit of glue. I want a lot of it of glue. Work it a little bit with the knife and see what that gets us. Let's wipe off the glue. Let's glue that. Glue was leaking a little bit there. What? Go ahead and throw a clamp on either. Other side. And eight. Gotta let that tack up a little bit because can't do the second fence until this glue at least gets reasonably tacked up. So with your front fence, it's not super important that you have the, what am I trying to think of here? It's not super important that this is square to your crosscut sled. The back fence is where it has to be square to the crosscut. Because what's going to happen is we're going to eventually raise this table saw blade up, and then we're going to cut into it. So this fence is a little bit off kilter. It's no big deal because we're not. This fence isn't here to help hold pieces as a reference fence against the blade. Because what we're going to actually do is we're going to bring the blade up enough, probably about here, and then we'll cut into about here, and then we'll square it up with the back fence. But I want to go ahead and get this on glued, let the glue tack up a little bit, and then that way, once the glue's tacked up a good amount, then we'll go ahead and make our cut, because the piece will be secure to the sled, our jig. Granted, we're also making this of MDF, so it's a bit more, you could say, stable. So, I think to kill a little bit of time, we'll go ahead and get these cut up. So basically, what these pieces are going to do for us is we're going to have basically them like this center. And basically what it is, what these will help do is they're going to give resistance to sticking fingers where the spinning sharp object of doom is. We don't want fingers near the spinning object of doom, and I think we want these to be 14 inches. These are currently longer than 14 inches. So, grab handy dandy tape measure. We're going to want these to be 14 inches. Grab knife we are using as a marking tool, because, you know what, screw it. I'll go ahead and grab an actual pencil this. Pencil has been acquired. So, go ahead. There. There, and this board got really messed up, so I'm gonna go. All the way. There we go. So we'll come back. Back down to here. And grab Insol Coon, and we'll just get this cut. Go ahead and get these cuts happen while I'm waiting for that glue to tack up. Which I don't think it'll take long. But I just want to give that glue all the time in the world it needs to settle. because we will not be using. I mean, I suppose you could use screws. Grin, that's actually a good question. I don't think the plans call for screws, but I'm actually going to check my plans right quick. As far as like mounting the thing to the... Yeah, they don't call for screws. And then we got to get the back one on. Oh, no, it does call for screws eventually, but that's after... Okay. So screws are eventually called for then. Okay. But that will be after we get everything glued together. Okay. Oh, they actually call that the rear. Okay. Neat. Okay, so might be able to be making progress in their spot. But I'm still gonna go ahead and get these cut. Let's back off that thumb a little bit. There we go. Ah, the joys of sawing my days away. Huh. Also, okay, just had a bit of a power flicker there. It's been stormy today, so if stream cuts out for some reason, I probably have lost power. Yay! Oh. That's those. They're cut. Not with the greatest of accuracy, but to the degree of accuracy I'm willing to live with. Take these. Crap. Oh, ink. Okay. Okay. Sweet. So, our fence is now pretty much not going anywhere. Oh wow. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring our blade up. This is 2.5. We have 3/4 of sled material, and I at least want probably you know what? I actually remember that in the instructions. So, kids, what I'm about to do is remove the riving knife. This is one of the few circumstances. Okay. Explain. No. Okay. So, riving knife is removed. So, reason we can actually remove the riving knife while working sled, because sled is tracked in these miter slots. Not gonna. Might have to. But I think one of the things I can do is actually just. I'm thinking of this. Safely as possible, but also like to where I'm eventually gonna want. So I'm actually just gonna grab a piece of painter's tape. Okay. Piece might be a bit thick. Need like a half piece thing. I have an approximate half piece. This is a miter slot. Well, within I'm going to call a miter slot for some reason. I'm not sure why. Gonna have to live with it. Okay, so we're gonna fire up the table saw. We're gonna make a cut roughly around the center. Well, halfway through the dig, and then we'll work on getting the back fix. And so much dust in the air. Actually, I actually had that pretty high for them. Guess not. Okay. Brush. What we did before. Show Chet my good side. Hi Chet, this is my good side. This is the good side of the fence that we're gonna glue. And then this one is actually gonna get placed off the back. Before I go grabbing my screws. Great to go. Why you wanna have it partly cut at this point? This fence squared. That there. Grab a tape measure. Approximately 2 inches off the back. That's it. but square. And then it's weird because to me it slightly looks out of square, like the blade, but reference. Oh, at first it looked a little weird, but then, but no. No real like wiggle in the speaker, which is like got here's that's it. Sorry, dude. Just like last time, where we're gonna just double check where once the glue fully sets, I don't get. I mean, there are ways I can get takes. There's ways I can get takes backsies, but hell of a pain, and I don't want to do that. So, yay. Good. So I can start to bring a little bit additional pressure. Because I want this to bond and basically be unmovable. So, yeah. It's really coming together. So, and because project. See? With these here, my fingers don't get. But I'm going to check with the plans right quick to find my spacing. Okay. What we want 6 inches. Well, we want 6 inches. Okay. Okay. We can do that. Tape measure on the desk in front of me where I. Aesthetic reasons. Okay, so is this for my fasteners? Let me just verify that. Yep. Cool. So I'll go ahead and drill some holes on that side of the world. holes pre-drilled. And then we're gonna grab some screws. Yay! On there. Down. Yay! Cool. That looks like that's gonna get the job done. Get the job done. Okay. Some fasteners. Yay. Nice and flush. Pretty looking. Sweet. Okay, so we got that done. So, and also like one of the nice things of getting these parts in, not only do they keep my fingers from the blade of doom, they're also gonna help like basically keep this where it is. Kind of like the big thing is this isn't allowed to move. This is not allowed to move. This has to be here. I need this square to my blade. That way when I make, say, I'm gonna make cut. Jeez. Can't because I actually I don't have enough blade. Granted, I've now since hidden the blade from view. But we did enough work with the clamps. Helping that. Give it just that hair bit of pressure in it. I'm gonna bring blade down all the way, just because I need to have a flat surface. We're gonna flip this around. Great. And then we're gonna use screws to just securely secure it. One at the edge. We're gonna do some on either side of our cut here, just because that's gonna help like support everything. Oh, here. Down here. Okay. This is the part of the build when it's like it's coming together, everything's looking nice, and I'm feeling good about everything. Like this is always like the best part. Oop. And actually, I'm gonna go one bit step. I'm gonna do one more thing with these. So with... Now, granted, I think it won't be an issue here because this part is like outside of the reach of the tablesaw. But I'm gonna... These are definitely something I should countersink. Clearly, it's just that little bit to help that head of that screw be as flush at the bottom of this as possible. I think with that, my concerns should be alleviated. But we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. We're gonna see what we get. I don't know. I might test it. Like they're just a hair bit over. In there. I'm gonna give this a test. I am getting some noises, but I don't... Alright. So now that I've looked at it like this side, let me show you guys. I have a gap. That's a pretty bad gap, so. Honestly, I don't think. I almost certainly know. We need to take these screws out. We're gonna replace them. I think these 1/4 inches are nice for connecting material, but I think we're gonna upgrade those to 1.5 inches. Well, I don't have 1.5 inch screws. Well, I probably do. We're going to use 2-inch screws. So these should be able to... Because, I mean, you've got, like, 2 inches of wood to secure them into. I just need to... on my workbench that's unoccupied. So I'm gonna go ahead, swap them out with this. Then I'm also gonna just pre-drill these holes a little bit more. Just because these screws are longer than the ones I was originally intending to use. So, got it pre-drilled out a bit more. Not using the torque head. We've since went to Phillips, so we'll grab the Phillips. And we'll Phillips on. Got a little bit of glue squeeze out there. Like, really flush. Big improvement. Now this screw, the head's actually like underneath. Yeah. That's what it's supposed to do. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking fast. Let's do this. Do. Actually, bring this. Okay, so I'm gonna grab over there. I want this over here, and I'm gonna see if I'm getting clickety clack. Or I had clickety clack sounds. Yeah. Earlier, I think when the screws were going over like this part here of the throat plate, they were making clickety clack sounds. I don't have clickety clack sounds. That's good. Better go ahead and this other. Thanks, because it's having a little bit too much fun. First one. And then we'll countersink these here. Stop. That bit of that cast under a little bit of a room to sink in. Phillips. 2 screws, because we're going to take care of this side of the world before we move to the other side. Hey now. A little bit more. A little bit more. Fastener's nice and buried. Not gonna be hitting the bottom of my saw or anything. Quick look. Top side of the world. And making. We're still as square as we can be, because losing square on this, like, basic. Like, is literally the worst thing that can happen is lose square on that fence. But I don't think that's gonna. Mystic. Yeah. Yeah. We just got like a little bit left to do, and we're almost done. Exciting. Part of the project where it comes together, you're starting to have a thing from an idea to a thing. Always great. Always nice to just have a for your day. Go. Cool. Sweet. So we're done looking at the. go ahead. Blade Coon up. There you are. Bit more, and then we'll bring this cut all the way from like the center, this side of the world. Okay. So, purpose for that. Hey, look. There's a spot for the here's right here. That can be an ouchie. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these short pieces earlier. We're gonna cut them in half, and then we're gonna set them here. Cool thing out part of the process. Actually, crosscut led to make crosscut. But yeah, like, guess what? We can use this to help finish the build. That's what we're gonna do. Matter. Now, granted, I just eyeballed them, which is why all my pieces are like different sizes, but that's no big deal. I'm actually going to use that to my advantage by... So basically, these are going to like pyramid staircase up. So, one purpose of what we're building here we are basically just going to build like a stack of wood. And it's basically going to be like a blade guard. So that way when I our blade and make cuts way back here, that's some protection. Because as you can already see, where that blade was poking out from earlier. The blade was poking out from earlier, we can't see it. Guess what? We're going to add another block, and then another block. I don't think we'll add the final block. That's just... We'll have all this, and then this will be enough. It's not only additional support for our reference fence, it also keeps... It's also a safety thing. Like, it helps keep fingers out of the spinning blade. Alright. I've actually, fun fact about myself, I've actually had a finger, the tips of one of my fingers reattached. Granted, it didn't get cut off at fault of my own. My dad actually woke me up from a nap. I was like 11 months old, he thought I was right behind him. I kind of was, and I somehow got my finger stuck in the door. And when he closed the door, thinking he was behind me, well, that door pinched the tip off one of my fingers. So, and actually did so enough to the point where it was basically hanging on with just like. So, definitely not want to lose fingers due to my own faults. Because then that's on me. That's also on my health insurance. Which I have pretty alright health insurance. I have good enough health insurance to where I can afford for fun, well, from a peace of mind perspective, afford to have fun playing with mini sharp dangerous shop tools. And, ladies and gents, I have a crosscut sled now. I can now... Right. But now, let me grab the miter. Behind me. Oh. Compared to before where I didn't have... And also, like, another thing with, like, the miter gauge, I only have support here. I don't have, like, a lot of support here or on the end of off that piece. So, whenever I have a piece. Instructional purposes. This. Look, I have all this support. Like, I mean, this board could even come out more. Like, probably at least another foot. I've got like all. I want to make passes, but I can't make passes with the blade up. So I'm dropping the blade. Dropping the blade, and blades drop. So I can just be like, ooh. Or if I want to also, like, say I have, like, 2 feet of board. Like, I have 30 inches. I now have, like, 30 inches of support on either side. So, like, say I have, like, a 4-foot piece, and I want to make 4-foot board, 2-foot board. 2 2-foot. That is now possible. I have... Say I want to take a piece like that. Hey, you know what? Coasters. Say I want to like turn this into a whole bunch of coasters. What I can do is with a clamp. Go with it. Yeah, I can add stop block. And stop block. This here. The better view of it. Say I'm at the saw and I want to make heated crosscuts. Well, I do this, I boof, then I go bring it back. I'll have a separate piece set to the side, bring the rest of my board in. Repeatability of cuts now possible. So, like, this is definitely a very exciting tool to have. Very... It's also nice to just know that, like, hey, I made a step forward today. So can you. And now a word from our sponsors. If I had a sponsor, that'd be a great opportune moment for a segue. But nah, I'm just the guy doing this for fun, and I'm having fun. So I hope all of you are having fun. I hope all of you have a great rest of your evening. I mean, I would be willing to answer like any like comments or like stuff that's going on, but I have a crosscut sled now. I'm excited about it. This makes me happy. Actually, I need to get a big smile. Ah. Woo! So, got a crosscut sled. So, also, as far as next stream plans, there is going to be a slight change versus what is on the schedule. So, I originally I was like, I'm going to do some like fall seats starting, and then also be like, hey, I'm going to also like, let's just go ahead and make lunch, because I have like no other ideas to kind of like fill out, like to make a good Sunday stream. And then I was like going out and about in like the gardens of the homestead, and I was like, wait, it's that time of year. It's hop harvest season. We're gonna harvest hops, so we're gonna start fall veg, which is literally just gonna be lettuce. Just lettuce. I mean, I can also sow radishes, but radishes are more of a direct sow. You don't start it inside and then from outside. So we're gonna be sowing lettuce seeds, and then I'll be bringing in the hop harvest. So be a lot of talking about hops. Depending, well, yeah, the stream schedule will start at 11 a.m. my time zone, which is EDT. So around noon, might crack open a beer or two. So thank you everyone who showed up today. Really excited about this. Granted, this does present a conundrum for me myself, because now my problem is I have to figure out where to stick it, or where to store it in the shop. I kind of look around and like, I actually had to boot a chair for the miter saw station, which actually I can actually, you know, kind of give you a view of the miter. Yeah, that's where the miter saw station lives, right next to the work desk. But that's where it lives in my shop now. I originally had like a like chair that I would use for like fire pit nights, and only just fire pit nights. And well, right now it's a little too warm for fire pits, but it'll eventually get cooler, and hopefully we can do a few like campfire streams. I definitely want to do at least one this fall, at least one, but we'll see about that. So this is Sugi Yamagawa. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your week. Do continue to take care of yourself, and if you've got any hobbies, take the time to enjoy those. Because you know what, we only get one shot at this life thing. So with that, take care, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye bye. Yeah.